are very efficient, okay? You know, there's nothing wrong about a third wheel per se. As Eternal Fire will be starting on the attack. A team that actually, Henry, you get to cast more of.
I have seen a lot of these boys. Don't you worry, I have every bit of information. I know their scrapbook inside out. Looks like we're going for the B execution here. Couple of smokes, 3 flashbangs by Nico. He is looking to deny absolutely everything here. CT flash will be coming through momentarily, and the first bit of contact has been found.
Yeah, but it's a main switch, and Immort's good on the first. First Kovac down, Hooksy gone, only Nico left, then Bob's your uncle, Fanny's your aunt, the B-side's yours, I believe is how the saying goes.
I believe so, and unfortunately that is going to be 2 players remaining, and that should be round done. They might even have to consider saving the armor, and Julie's here. They've got a smoke there as well, but that's very clean from Eternal Fire. Nothing too flashy. Wait for the push, hit the shots, barely took any damage.
And Henry, I tell you what, we get a perfect opportunity throughout this map to try and slowly convince Yanko that Anubis is fun to play.
Well, I'm not hating on Anubis per se.
What is it then? If it's not hatred, it's just like a
jealousy.
You favor the maps that are more familiar.
No, I just hate vertical. Like Anubis is fine. It's still like people are still figuring out how to play it.
Definitely.
I don't like that a little bit. It's difficult for CTs to get any early control, like early aggression. It's very difficult to take those fights.
Like mid, dark, they're all uncomfortable.
Let me tell you though, Eternal Fire, they've got some really cool tricks up their sleeve. They've got stack nades on every single map now, including Anubis. You'll see them when they throw the stack nades. Every single time they tried it, they would convert it to a kill.
Like from CT typically.
So outside big bomb side and the T side, they've got stack nades that bounce through the flash windows. 3 of them will land in dark, and it gets a kill every time. Like no one else is doing it, and you should watch out for that. Like they've been in the lab. Eternal Fire are a team you need to watch out for this tournament.
And here it's weird. It's like whoever gets the first headshot in this pistol can probably win it. I think the flash from the CTs, maybe it was missed. You could tell, like Nico turned, he was waiting for a flash. Flash pop, no one was blind.
No, and that fight on B is just so instrumental. If you don't go for the info.
That's like the Flash's rush throws when you guys play.
Yeah, 147. He doesn't let us forget.
That's true.
147, lads.
I don't think these guys know about that. We should probably tell them.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Guys, little top tip for you.
I don't know if you know.
I don't know if you know, but I
mean,
do know.
no joke. Like how much you guys play, like Chad especially, and Rush with all the nerdy stuff.
There's,
you know, probably more than some of the teams that are playing it.
There is a lot of mid utility that I'm currently missing, and you can actually see that this mid utility might lead to some friction. Hooksy's trying to hopefully set these boys up. 2 of the sharpest tools in the G2 shed. Monacy and Nico equipped with the Deegs.
Like you've never seen the version of these players before. Like they're all about utility and synchronization now. It's not as much about running and gunning and using your Xantara spear to get in there. This is actually a much different team. You're going to be very surprised with this.
Yeah, and it's going to be relatively flawless. I say it as Hunter puts 1 on the floor, but yeah, problems are solved. Site is cleared, and 1 on the flank. This is a little threatening. You can see 3 immediately jump to try and respond to it. Xantara's good for it. And Xantara's as well, Lil Xan. You know, this is a player that...
Lil Xanny. Yeah, dude, he was in like masterclass form as well. He got 1.41 rating in the final against Bad News Eagles. Honestly, like the best looking Xantaras we'd ever seen. He had up and down moments in the tournament, especially on Anubis. Their main problem was giving rounds away. They'd have 5-on-3 advantages, get too confident, throw it all away, then the morale would go, and they kind of recovered from that towards the end. By the grand final, they were looking like they're ready for this tournament. I've got them going through this group.
I think they were also just looking for revenge on Bad News Eagles because they lost to them numerous times before. It was always 16-14 or overtime, very close games. So this is like very liberating for them. It feels like also to do it in a grand final, right? The most important game.
I appreciate we're talking about Eternal Fire more often than not because G2, we know everything about them. Everyone's talking about G2 right now. We expect them to win
now
this.
Now they are.
Yeah,
now.
Well, yeah, exactly. They've changed their mind now, haven't they? That's a very good point, Yanko. But that's a pretty flawless round. Bear in mind, that's a force buy from G2. They save an MP9 and a Deagle. They take down Major, who's in actually incredible form as well. X-Cloud is like the clutch minister of this team. You'll be seeing him win out 1v2s, 1v3s all day long at Anubis.
I think also you look at Major when before he was removed the last time around. So Pro League last season, I think he was on the team. And he had a couple of games where he's like fragging or top fragging. Major is like 32 or so, 31. I don't want to give him, you know, too much. But, you know, he's like still for his age, like he's fragging very well.
That's a spawn smoke. So immediately going to be locking off a lot of CT info.
They have a new coach now as well, bear in mind. So it's not hard stuff behind. They have a new tactical coach and assistant coming in as well. So it's looking quite good for the opening frag here. Major completely blind. Does take down JKS, who was aggressing towards the canals from the A bomb site. Pump the brakes now. Feeling out the logical position, see if they can find these CTs on the other side. It's all about utility for these guys right now.
Yeah, I mean, you can see it every POV we jump to. Someone's considering a lineup.
You might see the triple net. I don't think they'll waste it on this round necessarily, but it goes to that window in the top right there. They do 3 nades from that
and so, like, the person that's playing in front
bounces
of it,
down towards dark,
crossfire.
So watch out for that. But you wouldn't waste it on this sort of round.
No, and they've just been very procedural. We saw that early util hoping to pull any of the tricks that G2 had up their sleeve out, and this as well. No nades, barely any armor, and a dead Nico to start things off. Hunter to trade. Would he need something magical out of that USP and a dink? It's not quite going to hit the money. And speaking of, m0NESY slipping through that smoke. They are a little bit tagged up. Doesn't clear his corner. There was grounds for a bit more damage to be done, but Eternal Fire swimming. I was trying to think of something that fire does. Flowing. There we go.
Flowing.
Can fire flow?
I suppose so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could follow a stream of gasoline.
Thank you.
Flow through.
It's flowing.
So just to bear in mind, anyone who's not aware, it's a new map. This is the only T-sided map we have in the pool right now. It's considerably T-sided. So you wouldn't be surprised if you lost the CT side 11-4. You can still bring it back and have a pretty convincing chance of winning.
Yeah.
So don't be fooled by the initial scoreline, perhaps.
And isn't that exciting? I mean, a full T-bias map. You've heard Yenko's frustrations of those limits for the CTs early, but so far, we have found a lot of teams. Yeah, it depends on the team, how far they can get. JKS is quite the anchor. Safe from the flash, and a second on the cards. That's 2 for the A anchor, and now rotates her in. So is Eternal Fire. Nico yet to frag. It's Immor's responsibility to clear up Heaven's side as that smoke starts to fade. Big fight for Hooksy here. Immor, perfect. Strikes, backs a turn, and oh, he gets a second as well. Nico unprepared.
Yeah, I was going to say, they haven't even planted yet. They're forcing the issue for those smokes. If they lost the man advantage, 3 versus 2. m0NESY with the AWP, and Hunter, he's got the kit and the aim, it seems. Great shot towards Antares. Brings it back to an even keel.
Need another. Immor still on a heater. 4. This could be the ace from Immor. You talk about the individuals. Eternal Fire looking flamey. That's brilliant. An ace.
That's a round of applause right there. That's the AWPer of the team, stepping up with an ace. Not bad at all. So he's replacing Woxiv, of course, but he did used to be one of the riflers as well. Amazing form coming into this tournament once again. And a 4-0 start with an eco on the cards, or at the very least a partial buy, as we're going to round number 5.
They're getting pretty loud in there as well, right? I mean, we were talking about it when we opened the show. Eternal Fire, no pun intended, a team that can catch fire, right, and then play really well with momentum. And G2 on the other side of things, they're starting to get a little bit fatigued. Like it's been a month and a half almost on the road. Blast and Katowice, close qualifier for the RMR. Now this, so you know, maybe Eternal Fire can catch them sleeping a little bit here. That was a 4v3 retake.
Oh, sleeping was X-Floud. Is it Floud or Flood?
X-Floud.
Floud, like a cloud. As X-Floud is good for the first. I don't know if they're going to account for Hunter, though. It seems like he was just a little bit early on the cross, so there could be an element of that if they choose to return.
Plenty of time, plenty of utility, just feeling the map out. Nico could be dangerous here as Antares tucking himself in towards the window and striking towards the danger man of G2 there. So another 5 versus 3 advantage. You would assume this one's going in their favor. Hunter can't really justify sitting in that corner much longer, but we'll have to push up and see what's available in T-spawn as they're starting to coordinate themselves toward that A side. Just JKS holding with the 5-7, and they're going to go through the motions here. They're not just going to walk in. It looks like they go for the full execution, not going to give anything away.
And here's the thing, Henry, as well. You know, this is probably a style that G2 hasn't really faced on Anubis to this extent. So maybe it's not, you know, if they would watch a game and then prepare for it specifically, like, it wouldn't be as difficult. But when it's happening, you're like, we should be having an answer to this, but we don't, right? It's, you know, it's an execute heavy style. You need to be good with your counter utility, buy time, play together, right? Like, and that's what they did. You know, JKS did a good job in the first gun round. Got 2 kills,
that's all he has
bought
to
a little
do,
bit of time for everyone else to come in, and then in the 4v3, they sort of just walk into their deaths. It was a little bit strange.
That was a straight up bomb. Hadn't even planted there. They committed 2 players through with no utility. That was quite baffling, but early stages still. Like I said, heavily T-sided map. We haven't hit the alarm bells for G2 just yet, but this is going to be maximum loss bonus, of course. m0NESY with the AWP. No one really fragging. Nico and Hooksy both on Slayer right now. m0NESY will have to take matters into his own hands. A lot of AWPers go towards Dark at the start, of course, but they can be very nimble. They can anchor towards A. You want to be changing things around each and every time.
And it has to be said, this is a must-win map for Eternal Fire, considering the 2 other maps in the Vitor, Inferno and Nuke. G2 is on a 14-map win streak on Nuke, and Inferno was only broken by Heroic in the Grand Final. It was like around 10, I believe, so...
Yeah, and one of the comments, I think it was from JKS, just said it's kind of a relief, you know, to getting those records that start turning everyone's heads, just getting it off of your back. And m0NESY, wow, he's going to get Major straight on his. Perfect, flattened, as they come knocking at B.
Yeah. Seeing a lot of AWPers use that platform at the start to get the opening pick. It's Major that goes down, the in-game leader, the brains of the operation. But here comes the Brawn. Zantara is working towards Dark. And normally need the Molotov, the flashbang combo to get in towards Dark. CT's built a reservoir of smoke grenades outside Dark this stage to keep you locked out the entire round.
Some players have really got a knack for that Dark timing, though. Just getting in, just worming away, just as someone comes. It's definitely
like the focal point, at least in the meta right now. Everyone's trying to work towards Dark, take info away. But this will be the execution again. And bear in mind, they had a man deficit before, managed to pull it through. Could happen again. Here comes that execution. Flashes to come in, JKS to defend.
Yeah, he has Nico with him as well this time. JKS is poised and, ooh, kind of tuck in tight, evade the spray. They're so close. It's fine, it's fine. And now as they turn tail, that smoke will fade. And there'll be no one home. So all just smoke and mirrors at this point.
Yeah, I'd say it's a bit of a round reset, but that they have no real utility to execute towards A now. 30 seconds. They're going to start being pushed by JKS, who's reading this perfectly. Should be the first G2 round here.
Yeah, should. Certainly with a frag like this. That's the bomb carrier. X-Floud down. And yeah, likely the round as well. They're lost in limbo. Nico pushes. He's pushed the limit of that. It's fine, isn't it? 10. I mean, you're not even going to get through the first fight. Hooksing delays them. Good damage and a round victorious.
Well, we are calling Xantares after the last event the Turkish Terminator.
I like it.
We're having a lot of fun with that. Or the Turkish Talisman as well. We're trying to come up with all different sorts of things. But that one he's not going to pull off. Causes a bit of damage towards the end. And a double up setup recover for G2, first round.
Plenty of money in the bank for Eternal Fire. And I think if you're G2 now, you go for the strat where the 4 players, they hold one guy from Eternal Fire down and Nico shoots him. So he gets that first kill of the game. So he gets into the game because he couldn't even get the kill in the back.
Nose go towards
just for style points.
That's nuts.
I mean, what a prodigy G2 have managed to find themselves.
So you're going to see the Immortal orb now.
An expensive one.
It's exciting, this orb, but it certainly is inconsistent at times. So watch out for that.
All right. Immor's doing the dirty work on this T side. You can see a bit more of a forward defense on the A side of things. So G2 not going to let that be acquired for free. If they throw the exec without clearing, that's the clear, that's the flash, and that's the frag. It's JKS. Good for one. Traded out and sticking around. m0NESY, even though the low HP, he's bounding around, looking for multi-frag. And they're scared of him. Eternal Fire genuinely perplexed as they try and break through. Now the rotation's in, and m0NESY still looking at all the right places. The moving, the shaking, it's perfect from m0NESY, just locking down this site. Another one for m0NESY. One by one, they fall. Triple in total, and Xantares, yeah, he's got his tail between his legs.
I don't know, these are the situations he thrives in. First kill, m0NESY though, with 4 in total. Lovely little setup play there as well. Oh, Hooksy, I like that. We had holding the angle with the AWP, JKS tucked in, bait and switch. It was very discombobulating. You could see they didn't know whether to push through the smoke. m0NESY on the other side, he's going to hit those sort of shots. But it was like the worst of both worlds. You're not going to go through and then limp in afterwards. You call for the rotations as well. I would say at that point, just take the risk, get in there and see if you can trade him out.
Yeah, but, especially because last round, they got locked out and had to do an awkward 30-second rotation back to B. Right. They really wanted to get the commitment out, but m0NESY there this time enough to destabilize.
I think it's also really cool to see how you have to fight for every... He doesn't give you an inch for free.
Yeah.
Right? Like even if he misses the shot, when he re-peeks into it, you can see how many flashes Eternal Fire was just throwing, trying to improvise, trying to push him away, right? And that's just buying time for the rotate to come in, for his teammates to come in. Missed the first shot, but ends up with a 4K.
Well, we do have a chance to catch our breath as Eternal Fire assess their finances. This is the replay of m0NESY. Absolutely brutalizes them here. Every shot connects. Looks very comfortable. Didn't look flustered whatsoever. As we talk about the buy, Eternal Fire, they've partially bought into this, but they focus on the utility and the run and guns. You've got Mac 10s and Tech 9s, so they won't be stopping. This will be a very fast Wolfpack mentality. Run into the bomb site. Looks to be challenging A once again.
JKS got the nade for this. Oh, a little late, but right idea.
Here we go.
And JKS has got a lot on his plate, especially with a long-range Mac 10 out of Major. What is that? Looking to discuss a boost. Any sort of vision they can find is minimal, and Major even has the presence of mind to crouch. Good one back. Hooksy's coming in from the flank. Not going to be the easiest to hold on to.
Fortunately, no nades on the T side, so this should be a G2 round, but they're presenting aggression here and trading out kills, upgrading their weapons. Back and forth we go, the man advantage and then some as they comfortably close things out. So sure, Eternal Fire did get the initial kill, but this had nothing to hold on to the bomb site with, taken down and actually pretty well held by G2 in the end.
it's very important. Communication is crucial, and being on the same page and making sure to know what's open and what not. You know, G2 pulls off a 4v5 retake here while they lost the 4v3 one in the gun round just because they're playing it a little bit more clean. Sure, turn on fire on a half-by, have to take more risks. That was funny.
Yeah, I'd like to see him do that one again. JKS just out-gamed. And then you can see their way back in. Modesty, I love the commitment here. He's just trying to bait the shot. Anything for his teammate right behind him, and Nico.
Well, now Modesty has conditioned them so well toward the A side. Yeah, I was about to say. Now you want to see him moving around. So he's gone towards middle with the AWP. He's going to have one of those halves now. He's going to recover this for G2 because he's got in their heads. They're going to be avoiding that A bomb site. And now he understands that he can be a little bit more dynamic. Obviously, Major, that is a technical smoke. Hooks, he's having none of it. He's pushed out to B, bro. xCloud absolutely eviscerates him there.
Yeah, there is a chance Hunter goes overlooked. Well, they won't even choose to investigate. But yeah, it's G2 still have info early B. An early casualty. Hooksy forced to watch now from the sidelines.
That's a smoke to bait for Hunter. Outside B, his teammates smoke, so now they maybe won't expect him here.
Yeah, it's about timing. And
certainly not. He's reloading that.
Yeah.
Should be Hunter's frag back in. The meantime, mid is getting pressured. You can see Xantares already brings Nico low, forces him away, so there's a gap there. And if they can park Xantares, he's getting very proactive. They're looking for a bit of a mid-pincer into the A hit, and on the jiggle, just the shoulder. Xantares does come and knock it. Modesty, though, stamps Major's ticket. And this is the pivot. They've got more time, and there's less, I was about to say, information lost. Hunter's pushed all up B, calling mid-clear. He'll hear this, he'll hear this.
He's timed it very well. He drops down now, he probably catches at least one. That's unfortunate, but still his advantage. He can maybe even deny the plan here.
Yeah, it's all about that trigger discipline, making that choice. xFlow, he's just safe, he's safe, but in more. A free frag, looking to double up! Quick one out of xFlow.
Quite messy not to have anyone watching Dart, but at least the bomb is down at 3-on-3. It's a winnable situation. Nico, hoping for the flashbang to come through. Because he's swinging now, and that should be it. That's a great shot. Low HP on these last two players. And in Xantares, he'll have to step up. There's any chance. 3-on-1, he can win these, but can't quite find the reload.
I was surprised JKS is like swinging on if they could just hold while the defuse comes. A little bit unfortunate for Hunter, but you can see I love those little details, right? Like I think Hunter is calling that for someone to smoke for him, or teammate is doing that so they don't know. He was very unlucky how the players positioned themselves. He should have gotten more than one kill, but still gave crucial info and allowed G2 to win their 4th straight.
Good to see xFlow in the feed. His second frag so far here on Anubis, and we will reiterate this is Eternal Fire's pick, so a must-win from our experts to the left and right of me.
So it'll be their first tactical timeout as well. They were 5-0 up, lost 4 in a row. I think it's probably a good time to call it. In terms of the cash, they do have up by, but a lot of concessions to be made. Calyx can only afford AK and armor. Same story for Xantares. Those two probably be fine with that, but like we said, this team is now focusing on utility and strategy rather than firepower and brawn. So a chance to work out their next move. Might even take a partial here, considering that fact. Still quite early on in the half. Yeah,
and we've seen Major's Mac 10. If he's any, can keep that up, get those Tech 9s flying through the A site.
So it looks like we are going to purchase into it. AKs across the board. Maybe Calyx goes with the Galil. But they've got enough this time. And round 10, AKs on the CT side as well as G2 start to warm up into this half.
Hunter was throwing some supportive utility for the A players. They're going for something quite aggressive on A. There it is. Monacy. Oh, whiffs the flash. Second's good. Xantares has vision, and surely they're dead. Dead men! It's actually a quick one out of JKS. And now alarm bells are ringing, right, Yanko? A site's lost. You just have to exec?
You have to go. There's too much information lost, too much space lost. You just have to go B at this point.
Well, and Hooksy threat them with a spray. Cost him a lot of his health, but already they're limping. I mean, sure, some damage is done, but information is almost entirely going G2's way, and so are the frags. xFlow's been caught, Immor tagged up on the smoke fade, and now, Nico's already in your spawn. He's coming for you.
And also, in this situation, I wouldn't save here, right? Like, well, they won't get the chance to, most likely, but even if they wanted to, it's like, then you have 2 players with no money and guns, 3 guys with no guns, but 3K, and then your money becomes weird for the end of the half. So, you know, even if Nico wasn't on their flank, they should have tried to do something, try to plant, die, have buy next round, and then have a full buy again. Sometimes teams don't think about this when they save, like how you're actually ruining your economy. It's different when you get 3,000, but you're saving on AWP and everything else, right? Like, because with that you can win and pistols.
But when you take a look at, the power of these CT opening moves, something you were critical of, look at what, that is a round-winning frag by pushing and confirming no one's canals, no one's T-steps, Rug's dead.
Well,
like,
yes.
That's like what? That's the equivalent of, I guess, having Banana 2 frags and a deep smoke Banana in the first 10 seconds.
But you see, Xantares had the advantage in that fight. He should have gotten that kill. So like it's difficult. Like you're going for that.
m0NESY missed his flash. Yeah,
well, I don't think. I think he was just tucked in. But the problem is, right? Like it shouldn't be that hard for the CTs. It shouldn't be such a disadvantageous fight.
Right.
And probably, you know, okay, Xantares doesn't get the kill. Eternal Fire maybe should have been a little bit faster to hit the B site. You know, because you either have to go immediately or slow it all the way down and come back. I mean, that's a nasty one from JKS. He should have never gotten that.
Yeah, absolutely.
But the individuals, I mean, I know we do sound a little like a broken record, but Counter-Strike is as beautiful as the complexities and the endless complexities of Counter-Strike are. The best team's typically the one with the 5 sharpest individuals at the moment. And G2, when you do go, you know, pound for pound, every single one of them, with JKS in the form he's in, with Hunter continuing to be a pillar of consistency, with none other than Nico, who's about to get himself only the 1.
1.5?
Yeah. Xantares, he is bleeding. Maybe not going to last too much longer if he heads towards
We say
Hunter.
in Serbia he's on life support.
Yeah, he is.
That's how you call it. He's heavily injured. He's on life support.
That's not bad. I'm going to steal that one, put that in my pocket for later. Yeah. Thank you. This is the nice flash lineup to get them in, and, well, they got 2 to receive. Ooh, it's Hooksy. Returns the favor to Xantares, needs this onto Calix, and mission accomplished.
Big kills there from Hooksy. Had to land those, and it looks like it's going to be a clean finish as well. 3 in total for the in-game leader as they take the lead. Now this is alarm bells. As we said, very much a T-sided map. You've lost 6 in a row. They seem to have dropped off, actually. Haven't really got close whatsoever in the last few rounds. Finance is going to be ruined with Calix saving that AK. Kind of alluding to what Yanko was going with. It's got $3,400, and it will be a CT timeout now.
Interesting to see that.
Yeah.
They're on a roll.
Exactly.
I mean, and also it's their second one, so sure it's T-sided, but you might need those in the second half. Like, you usually make more adjustments on the T side, and he called his timeout as the round was ending, so it's not like he wanted to overrule something. He probably has a very good idea of what the opponents want to do, and sure, if you win the gun round, then it's also sort of a 2-for-1. That can be, you know, 9 secured for your team, so...
Well, the timeout's done. GTA, you can see Swanee was requesting it. Hooksy's like, bro, we're smashing things. But yeah, something wanted to be discussed. I've had the time to do so. 30 seconds has elapsed, and let's see.
I'm curious now.
Yeah, how does G2 shape things up in round 12? First map of this best of 3. The aggressive util for the A side of things, and Nico's lining something up of his own design. Okay, now I'm curious. Is that going to look like mid-aggression? It looks like mid-aggression. Uncertainty now amongst the ranks. Eternal Fire is saying, I just heard a mid-smoke. Yeah, Xantares is desperately like, I guess I'll throw one of my own.
Definitely one of those situations.
That's what you were talking about, right?
Yeah, you just want to hold things up now, see what they have done with that. Reclaim some territory of your own utility. But yeah, Hunter will have smokes behind him. And for now, sitting in towards dark, not feeling comfortable at this stage. He's got himself an incendiary so he can force Calix off once again in this rock, paper, scissors affair.
Ooh, he's through. He's through. A big duel for Calix to win. Hunter goes down, an opening for Eternal Fire, trying to break this streak out of G2. m0NESY doesn't let those go.
He hasn't missed much since the gun rounds began. Looking to break the streak of 6 rounds in a row. We're back to a 4-on-4. Unfortunately, though, T-side just have a couple of flashbangs left. Hooksy, another prime position.
Surely going to get cleared. I mean, he needs Nico now, and he's just arrived in time as Calix comes for the clear. It's one from Hooksy. Nico silent, and a nade should finish the job, if not for the bullets of xFloud. Now, awkward. m0NESY, you said he hasn't missed much. He has looked like he's using the easiest gun in the game. He is the guy that makes it look like the easiest gun in the game. Oh, again, that corner bests him, but he gets the bomb down all the same. Trade. Unavailable, nearly pinches his
Brave
bottom.
maneuver.
Just jumps across.
Well, it's worked out for him. 2-on-2. Of course, they have kits, and m0NESY is forcing the issue. Finally, he does miss, but JKS will strike back. Xantares is so low, he can get away with these, but he's been pinned into a corner.
He needs m0NESY first. Somehow he needs to find that first frag onto the healthiest member. JKS 10 HP. m0NESY jumps across, and that'll do, I guess. Over to Yanko for the breakdown.
What? They didn't even time the defuse, did they? Or maybe I missed it. I'm not sure. But why is he jumping over JKS?
Here I come, $7,000. I'm the healthy one.
That was brave. That's confidence for you. That's feeling it. I mean, look also from the moment Xantares got a kill, the 5v4 lasted for what, 3 seconds? Because G2 is already making they were making an information play to begin with, and that's just good CS. That's playing with confidence, like always going for plays, going for moves. I don't know what this was, but
it pulled the crosshair.
I mean, he's 16-4 right now. I guess he can do whatever the hell he likes at this stage if you're playing like that. So, round 13, we're right back into the action, ladies and gentlemen. It will be m0NESY to open things up. We need to get right back in the game. He's shooting from the window. He finds Amor, the rival sniper of the Turkish side. So, right now it's a double AWP setup as well. So, HooXi presumably using this towards the B side of the map. Yeah,
he's actually their designated secondary, interestingly enough. They've finally banned Nico from the AWP role.
And he's in towards Dark.
Yeah, this is going to be a duo to Bray.
Oh boy,
things you hate to see.
That's clumsy.
Fumble the boost, loud step, re-smoke, and Hunter with a nade.
Oh, that's what you get. Run away if you make that sort of footstep.
Oh, the punishment.
You could tell on the player cam, he was talking. Like when you saw the mid-jump, he was talking, so he knew it.
Karma is real.
You've got to just accept that one and say, well, we've messed this up, fall back.
That's why
you and I have done that before. Yep. Fall back. We've definitely done that
That's
before.
why they should have bought Hunter, but I just did a terrible job of trying to sell him.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. You did do a terrible job, yeah.
Who won that? Was it Harry?
Yes.
Yeah, because he was just...
He bought love, though.
He brown-nosed his way into it.
Yeah, I didn't like that. That's a yellow card if you ask me, but my God, this guy keeps on delivering. That must be 20 frags by now. Or 18.
Or 18.
Or 18.
Yeah,
it must be 18 or 20, something like that. And just major.
But it's a great example. Like, what works well against utility execute-heavy teams that have to go everything, step by step. It's an AWP that's aggressive, right? Like, while you're setting up for nades, while you're trying to take control, he's just there slowly dry peeking you, right? And the adjustments take time for Eternal Fire because the plans are so set. Ooh.
Yeah.
Major snuck in, though.
I like that he's used the smoke so effectively. m0NESY was, and is covered by Nico.
We haven't seen any crazy individual moments from Eternal Fire yet. Their initial 5 rounds was pretty standard stuff. And yeah, no one seems to really be lighting the scoreboard up. Only one player on double digits. That'll be Xantares as we enter round number 14. Taking another tactical timeout.
This is a very aggressive fight to take. I think they must have smoked from spawn. Like, that smoke was up so quickly, it must have just been a CT smoke from spawn. I know you could throw that. And then just taking the window fight. Very cool. Good to see them setting him up, just as you talked about aggressive AWPers. We see another example of how that destabilizes Eternal Fire.
And this is a map where you'll get away with it because people are still figuring out all the timings, angles in the mid-round, in the early round, right? So shoulder peeking, where do ops like to stand, how to punish them, where does all this stuff. So it's going to take a couple more months. Just look back at any map. Like, there's a combination of nades that change the meta on a map. On overpasses, the deep mollies, the smokes, and all that stuff.
Utility.
Nuke the opening combo with the molly hut, smoke outside of
And bear in mind, we haven't had a major update for this map either, which is probably going to come at some point. This is still like the first iteration of it. We fixed some bugs. I'm sure it's going to change in some small capacities, but yeah, it's difficult to really dedicate that much time and try and solve the meta, as we might change things up here. Look out for those triple nades I spoke about. Are they throwing those in?
Oh, HooXi. He throws out the incendiary.
The execution.
And they are going to concede the site. You can see there was indecision between HooXi and Hunter. They were in spawn, swapping sides, then both go back to it. Now Nico is on the fastest flanks, and that's Calyx clothesline. Did not see that one coming. 4 on the side. Pushing into Hunter. Perfect. Play off the flash. It could and should be both of them. HooXi scarpering. Just looking to survive at this point. They're going ring around the rosy. xFloud shows face in CT. In the meantime, Imor's just been isolated. m0NESY's handing out haircuts. Watch out, lads. Okay, Pain Train arrives, pulls into the station, and there's nothing for xFloud to do.
Well, morale's going to be low now. That's 9 rounds in a row after a 5-0 lead. What the hell has gone on here? And I think Yanko's dead on. It's m0NESY, the stifling play at the start of each round. If you just take down, even if it's 1 kill and you get away, any set piece they had in mind, any strategy they've worked on and sat on the server doing, it's completely thrown out the window. You can't do the same thing anymore. You've lost territory, got to fill those holes, and you won't have the same level of execution.
Henry, he just pulled out a deagle and killed 2 guys
so
in a
4v4.
It's like, that's why I love CS, because yes, there's a lot of X's and O's and all this stuff, but a player can still transcend the game and solve a round on its own and decide it. And m0NESY definitely has that quality in himself.
These are the nades I was telling you about.
There you go.
So,
we do get them.
Now they do that. That's round 15.
No damage, of course. I did say it worked every time. Didn't even do any damage.
60% of the time. Works every time.
It was great last week. I don't know what's happened since.
Oh, easy there, Ryder. Nico nearly got caught by Xantares' spray. It's a
middle is brutal on the CT
tough
side.
fight.
You get spammed to death through the smoke. You don't have any real control. You're just falling back to more defensive lines, delaying. Xantares will play here on the CT side as well. Nico, you can see, can't just go for aim duels. It's just about slowing them down, falling back to the defensive lines, calling for rotations, or you get taken down like that. And if you do lose middle, a key position, it's very difficult to recover. We need some sort of reaction maybe towards the A side of the map, as they are hightailing it in towards dark, potentially.
Yeah, just covering their bases as they wait for
They're
that dark
towards
fade.
A, though.
Yeah.
So sending a more in to keep the players on this side of the map, but the bomb potentially goes back towards A.
This is quite spicy. G2 seem to have not yet been bitten by that bug. You can see flirting with the rotation is JKS. But it's Hooksy who's confirming still no action. And a weird shot that's a bit suspicious. It doesn't seem G2 are going to bite, though. So it is all on
fake.
one man.
He keeps giving an easy shot here. If he gets it again, you got a problem.
Saw the bomb.
Oh, and he gets away. Throws himself a smoke. He's here to play. Modesty, go on. Hey, take the ball, mate. He's knocked the shoes off of him all. Misses the follow-up. My goodness.
Look at the HP. They've been absolutely wrecked here. But it's the first winnable round they've had at this point. But Hunter with the boost above the smoke, and more didn't see it coming. Xantares and Major, the dastardly duo, trying to hold on to this final round here, but no saving here. Xantares strikes to open things up. In-game leader remains up against Hooksy and Hunter.
Will it really be 10 rounds in a row for G2? Can Major break their silence at the end of the half? Hunter v Major, and it's Hunter who reigns supreme. 10 in a row for the G2 defense. And we talked about the prowess of the attacking side of Anubis. Well, they better step up their defensive game, otherwise Eternal Fire's pick is only going one way.
You love it, you wear it. What's your style? Get your merch at shop.eslgaming.com.
Dallas, we're back. Counter-Strike is in our DNA. It always has been, and it always will be. And now we are once more returning to where it all began.
I've been married to this hustle. This is my ring. Watch I step in it, yeah. And I ain't even got a yard, but I'ma get it here. Watch I touch down. Pulling plans out the clutch. Everybody getting crushed. The cut down is for us now. Have to work something cause I had nothing in my pocket. Yeah, I did all that. Big plans. Partners trying to make profits. Yeah, I did all that. Work, sweat, and tears breaking even no wins. Yeah, I did all that. Had to make it happen. Putting hours in my practice. I did all that. Yeah, I can't take no loss. Yeah, I don't even know what it costs. I hit the ground, then I go off. Yeah, hit the ground, then I go off. Yeah, I can't take no loss. Yeah, I don't even know what it costs. Yeah, I hit the ground, then I go off. Yeah, hit the ground, then I go off. Yeah, yeah, run it, ooh. I really feel it's my time, think it's my year. Yeah, yeah, I really feel it's my time, think it's my year. Yeah, yeah, I really feel it's my time, think it's my year. Yeah, yeah, I really feel it's my time, think it's my. Yeah.
An initial 5-round run from Eternal Fire on the attack of Anubis is all they managed to muster in our first half of play. Does seem like the forecast is bleak for Eternal Fire as they're about to keep catching these hands in the second half.
And you know, Henry, you did a lot of their games. You were talking about the infamous nade stack, but you know, I think that's the problem. They played so many games. They don't have time to change anything, to add anything new, and G2 has all that film to watch and to prepare for.
Absolutely, and 10 rounds in a row, just in terms of morale in your own map pick, difficult to recover this, considering it is that T-sided map. They just dropped off completely. GT now, with the wind in their sails, going for a fast A play here. The flashbang deployed early, and the Molotov as well. Down to Amor's Julie's the gunslinger, and he gets the first, can't light them up. Equal trade comes in for now.
It's going to get messy, very quick, back and forth. You can see constant flurry of frags. It's xFloud that does manage to be the difference maker, a double from him in the exchange. Now they're all there. Yeah, okay, m0NESY, you're great, but are you 1v3 great already? Look at his first shot. Burrowed into the skull of xFloud, now quaking in his boots. And Torres, give this man an inch. He'll take the mile. He could take the clutch. He's got 70 seconds. Go easy now as the palms get sweaty for Calix. Oh dear, he's doing it! m0NESY just dancing around the pillar. Calix holds his nerve in the face of a demigod. That was nearly madness.
They just wanted to give it to him at one point, didn't they? He didn't have the bomb. He didn't have to be given any opportunities.
He had no armor either.
Just dink, dink, dink on the jiggle.
He headshot xFloud the second time around and he was only on 4 HP.
Yeah, that was very close. Uncomfortable there, so even though you win the round, it's still like a bit of a letdown. It's like, boys, that shouldn't have been so uncomfortable, but they do have a bye, of course. They won the previous round, and Amor will be joining with the FAMASs as they come through. So look at xFloud. They needed that pistol, I think it goes without saying, but more importantly, they need this round. So G2 didn't get the bomb down. Usually that'd be a full eco here, but instead they've gone for the force by trying to answer back as quickly as possible with the Tech 9s and Deagles here. Hunter flashing towards middle. xFloud using the one-way here on the table. Gives his position up, spots a couple, and we'll slow things down for now.
G2 very good in pistol rounds, or if they lose them, you know, breaking their opponent in the second round. So it didn't happen in the first half.
A lot of early info for Major. He's already gone walkabouts, and Hunter's likely going to be sweeping through this a little lackadaisical. Oof. How does he hit the actual thing?
Got his bell rung, and that's going to be Hunter removed. But definitely made things a little bit more complicated for Major and co. They'll be making their way back towards the A bomb site. xFloud and Xantares to defend with no utility between them. So this could get a little bit dicey. They've got the smoke for Heaven. Nico will throw that now. Flashbang courtesy of m0NESY. Hooksy to lead the charge. Molotov towards the connector as well. Off we go. And up to Xantares, who will have his vision removed. Has to rotate.
And xFloud done very well. Despite the flash, the angle and the placement of the crosshair good enough. G2 limited options now, and even more so as the frags come in. m0NESY still exists, so there's a conversation, and Nico not ready for him all. And so, a conversion of their second round. You see G2 obviously, actually this time, empty hands.
Both halves, yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
we don't see that very often.
Yeah, good point.
There were some crazy stats. I think it was Striker who's digging it up. At one point, G2 and Kado, they'd either won the pistol or won the second round force.
Yeah.
And like
in the grand final, it was like they won like 5 out of 6 pistols at one point, I think it was. Yeah, absolutely nuts.
And apparently, interestingly enough, it's Hunter that does all of the calling on the pistol rounds.
Yes.
Like a really kind of nice quirk. I think that's always interesting. People, you know, I've kind of stolen other people's opinion that the pistol round is a coin toss. That it's a 50-50, but it seems that...
Can I steal that opinion as well?
I disagree with that.
Okay.
I don't think so. I think obviously there's a bit of a random element. Oh, wait.
Hang on.
What's happening?
How's that for a random element, Yanko? How's that for a random element?
It's not random at all. One flash is all it takes. $200, Alex.
Oh, and then he gets...
That's such a shame.
I looked away from the screen for 1 second.
They can still win this technically, but it's going to be very difficult. They've got no armor, bear in mind, so it'll have to come in right here, right now. A double kill required, and xFloud has fired it. It's going to be 2-on-2 for now. They can smoke off main entrance. That might be enough. Both players are there. They have to go for the defuse right now.
Kit on site, somebody. Now, the smoke is up. It won't be for forever. They'll fake it out. They're hoping for the boost. Nico and Hunter, the cousins, nade their taste of his own medicine, perhaps. Just needs to get him off the road. That is beautiful. G2 convert with nothing in their pockets, and they still walk into B.
The Kovac Tower.
Yeah. They're erecting one in Belgrade.
Oh my god, that's a full eco as well. They had one Deagle and a few Glocks. They're great flashbang. Yanko's dead on. Look how effective that flash was. They got absolutely wrecked. And xCloud, said he had to get the double kill, even nailing it, and somehow through the smoke, the double kill comes through. And that's going to be a full eco now.
We called it too early. That Eternal Fire converted both pistols easily. But yeah, G2 never count them out.
Yeah, I guess not. I mean, I don't know if anyone can count Eternal Fire in after that one. Like, that's surely going to take you on a trip to Tilt City.
And you have to full eco as well.
Yeah.
That's just
And then it's 12. Oof. Ouch. Major. Ears are ringing. Speaking of ears and speaking of Turkey, there is that thing I see on the TikToks, right, where they're like burning, they put like a cone of paper in your ear.
Oh yeah, and they get the wax out.
And then they burn it. Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah.
I was, because all these Turkish barbers are doing it. I see dudes with like paper Shrek ears and they're on fire, burning the wax out. Okay.
I guess I think that's what it might be. Maybe that's what the ear has.
It might be the hairs
If it's a Turkish
well.
barber, maybe that's what it is. I think it's a Chinese candle you put in your ear and you light that and it sucks the wax out. But I think you're maybe talking about it.
I may be
hair
conflating
removal.
two things, but
Yeah, but not seen it before. That sounds good.
I had a pretty damn good trim from a Turkish barber. They do. It's a performance.
Do you ever wax your nostrils?
I have a few times. I actually kind of like it. I think it's quite liberating. Yeah, you put two like cotton buds up your nose with wax and just yank them out.
I heard that's horrible.
I did.
It's a
I don't
horrible
mind
experience.
it because I've got quite hairy nose, so I'm due for one. Maybe we could do it on the broadcast. Get that done.
Bring back the Movember vibes.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. All right, then. So this is the eco. Unfortunately, Eternal Fire did so well to win that second half pistol, and then the follow-up as well, losing to the full eco, and just can save FAMAS here. It's losing a little momentum here for the Turks, unfortunately.
They'll try to get a couple of guns, but I don't think they'll find much luck there.
Monacy's on for his 30 as well, comfortably within regulation.
A dirty 30.
Yeah, precisely. I mean, with his KD as well, it's just going to be an absurd statistical haul from Monacy.
And there's not a lot of anti-eco kills in there either.
True.
But yeah, Alex, to come back to your point about pistol rounds, like I think the premise is simple. Like on the T side, we want close range fights with the Glocks. And CTs obviously want to get a couple of shots, a couple of kills before they close that distance. So yes, a little bit is about whether the CT player who gets contact first, if he hits first 2 headshots with 2 bullets, it's very difficult for the Ts to win the round. But I think there's also ways, that you can make that happen on the T side, right? Whether it's utility usage, whether it's baiting out rotations, whether it's being a little bit more patient against teams who like to push on their CT pistol rounds, whether that's dropping P250s. Like that's why G2, one of the reasons why they have a high pistol round win percentages, they drop the P250 to Nico, he finds 2 entries, and I mean, it's not... Hunter doesn't need to think all too much about pistol rounds in that case, but I think people call them random because on average, you look at the team, the best team in a year in winning pistol rounds is at like 60%.
Sure.
Right? Like no one is ever going to have an 80% win rate in pistol rounds. But when you combine the pistols plus the force buys, then it gets maybe a little bit higher than that.
Well, we are changing the stance for Eternal Fire here. Double AWP setup. Major will be wielding it towards the A bomb site. And Monacy, so brave here, is willing to challenge towards middle of the AWP. No utility required. Smoked off now, though. Gets the reload in, and the CT's cowering in their boots. They can hear him coming. Zantares is a little bit questionable in middle sometimes. Likes to be over-aggressive. If he hits his shots, it looks amazing. If he dies, can cost him a lot of rounds. He's going to flush him out.
Yeah, he's going to feel that pressure and see what his reaction is to it. An incendiary of his own design. Hunter's already managed to get a lot of ground, and now he's been denied. He has got to be calling for help. A third Molotov invested by G2, and look where it's got them. Actually, a defensive smoke. They could disrespect it. They think better of it as the spray connects. xCloud, good on the first blood. Nearly both of them. Nico's had his bell rung as well. Calix caught out. It's Monacy.
That awareness from Monacy, though. Good lord. So Nico lead the charge, low HP, willing to take the first shot on the chin, and Amor misses it. That's a huge lifeline now. He's going to be struggling here. Has to hit at least one of these, and Nico takes him down. That might be the round. That's maybe not quite good enough. Needed to hit at least one of those shots. We talked about Amor. He's replaced Woxic, of course, the AWP. Can be amazing, but streaky at times. The shots he really should hit don't normally land, especially on this map.
That's a table punchy moment.
Yeah, exactly. He did that a lot last week as well on this map.
He's a big guy as well. I hope we have some spare ones.
Big old boy. It's like 6'5", I think. Yeah, be careful.
Giant of Eternal Fire. Major, of course, going to be holding on to that AWP, so they'll have another attempt. But yeah, it does just feel like the...
and that was
certainty.
Close to a 3v5. Like, Nico was on 10 HP, right? But he's the guy who's, as Henry pointed out, going in first with low HP to get the information.
He's designed to die there. He's jumping over the angles twice, 3 times, and still survived. Like,
and this is around Eternal Fire, you know, can't afford to lose, being down 12-7 with a man up. You need to try to get some momentum, try to get, you know, some of that like you had at the start of the game to get up 5-0.
It's a distant memory now, I'm afraid, as this one just crumbles away in front of their very eyes. A map pick of Eternal Fire, currently down 13-7 on the less exciting half of the CT forces. They did save weaponry, but a couple of Famai coming out to replace the fallen comrades. We have the AWP of Amor, and you can see concessions across the board as Antares takes another bullet to the thigh. And that's going to push him right back. He can no longer challenge because one nade will take him out.
Yeah, straight off, blew off his funny bone.
But G2 wastes no time to take that control, you know? And that's really important, the timing, the pace of taking map control, what's given to, you know, look at it, it's 125 and they're still like, they put so much pressure already on Eternal Fire.
Yeah, Henry and I were talking about this as well. You play a lot of middle, Henry. Just losing this territory immediately forces the whole CT squad to have to acknowledge.
Yeah, it's very detrimental. It's incredibly hard to hold, and it's very important you hold on to it. That's the problem. So, Amor will be there, but he's only got, what, an M4 up against Nico. He's going to challenge him any second. It's a decent angle with the flashbang. At least gives him the information here. Good job, but the trade for now. Back and forth we go. Bomb drops. Antares already been legged at the start of the round. He'll get one as well. Calyx and xFloud rotating in from the B bomb side. Very nice open plan here, as you see the rotate from the connector.
Yeah, going to go through it, looking the wrong way. m0NESY going to perhaps be caught out by this one as he just gets his crosshair bang on the money just in time. I thought he was dead to rights. Looking the wrong way, doesn't matter.
It's not fair, Alex. Like, it's not fair that, you know, you get out of he's caught out of position relatively often. I don't want to say often, but a good amount of time, and then he can just hit shots like that, right? It doesn't matter that you get good timing on him. He's just so fast, so quick on adjusting.
Like, I think Wonderful's very similar in that regard as well. When you think they're out of position and out of luck, they somehow find a way, a shot, some sort of awareness.
And another name I'd throw in the ring for that type of player was Brokey. When the FaZe were at their best, he was always caught out and would hit that nonsense quick scope that levels the odds. I mean, it's a value that is got a lot of value to every competitive Counter-Strike player. And look at Major pushing.
Got to do something, I suppose. He might have slipped the net here. JKS won't be aware of it. This is big. This corner on the right is very powerful.
He's done well with that one, hasn't he? Major, quite the opposite of that. In fact, the nade even catches
50 damage.
Jeez, that's perfect. And HooXi's already walking in. What? He's puffing up his chest and taking a leisurely stroll. Caught off guard. I think he was looking at the wrong screen. And that's the end of m0NESY as well. G2 looking human in this one as Calyx looks a little robotic in his execution with that deagle.
Surely. You don't need to peek that, my friend.
Let's be cool, man. Be cool. Be cool. He's on for...
You had the bomb.
A round performance here. 3, could be 4.
Smoke as well. If you smoke this off now, it's done.
You missed the AWP shot. It might not be.
Good job. All right, first sign of life here. For the first time in a while, I'm afraid, Eternal Fire do pick up the round. Desert Eagle headshots all over the place, recovering the AWP and the AK-47. They might be back into this.
I was a little bit confused why m0NESY is the second guy running in with an AWP behind HooXi and not Nico, but I guess when you're playing as well as he is...
Yeah, send him in. Get it done. Calyx, though, starting to wake up. He's one of the key names in the squad. 15 kills to his name so far. There you go, the early grenade. That's going to hurt. Oh, max damage grenade there to Calyx and the Molotov to follow things up as well. His round is pretty much over. He'll have to fall back.
And with that combination of Molotov HooXi, you've got Dark very early on.
He's tucked in, they don't know.
Yeah, well, you'd think. He should have the element of surprise. HooXi flattened by the Immor AWP. We need more of that. The impact has to be felt here from Eternal Fire's individuals, and xFloud and Immor aware that Nico's still here at the door. And there is an adventure on its way. Major with an AWP on the tight line, but m0NESY, half of his age, and poof, beheads him. Major pulled the trigger first, though. And Hunter is hunting. Yeah, he's got a very good timing here. It's not ideal to lose Monacy, but there is perhaps a gap here for Hunter to do something absurd. Backs turn, double spray. Hunter executes the A defense. Xflow does hold on just enough to keep the round interesting. Bomb miles away. JKS quite the contrary. He's already knocking on the main door. He's been spotted out. A lot of uncertainty going both ways at this point.
Absolutely. Nico recovers the bomb at T steps. He's aware those CTs might have found this and just checking every single angle, like Ruggs, for example. He does manage to thread the needle. Calyx is en route, but JKS confirming that he's still clear. Has to pick up the pace now. Don't want to get in an awkward spot. They'll re-smoke towards Heaven. Now, does Xcloud want to challenge this before his teammate arrives? This is the real important moment of the round here. His teammate's not going to be helping deny the plant, so what's the play?
They faked. They faked.
No way.
5 seconds. If he was just to knock him off the bomb. Doesn't take the chance. And they're going to be partnering up. JKS, I think he heard a step. I heard a lot of communication there from the G2 camp. And Calyx does have the element of surprise. Finds lethality eventually. And Nico's known. Needs to hit the headshot. Calyx solid for the double. And we will start to see a bit of a second half established.
Bit of a resurgence here. And that's going to be their 4th round in the half after breaking the streak of 4 there for G2. A little bit clumsy from Calyx at the end, but he got the job done, double kill. And that was a huge utility damage there from Nico, actually. So max damage grenade, push Calyx back. But here's a more solid shot. Xcloud as well, managing to stay alive. I like the fact he didn't commit and try and deny the plant. At least they gave him sort of a fighting chance for him to play this round together.
Yeah, and we saw what, how the round started for Calyx. Look how it ends.
Yeah,
so hamstrung at the start of things. A great flank from Hunter. You can see that's the kind of death that gets under your skin. It was a gap. You hadn't quite acknowledged it, and you feel like a bit of a tit. But, well, certainly not if you can keep this up. Yanko. Wanke. Here in the sub.
Here to stay. Here to stay.
Hey.
Get out his way.
Yeah. Hey. Hey. Hey.
I do. That's just like, how far are we going to take this? Who's going to overstep the mark?
Yeah.
Probably going to be me. So here we go. Round 24. Money's still available for G2, but the coffers are being drained. Galil's out for Hunter. AWP for Monacy still, but this would be the one where a Tunnel 5 had double digits and potentially forced into an eco. Huge round here, of course. G2 still trying to find map points on their opponent's pick. And we'll get into it. Round number 24, ladies and gents. Monacy challenging towards Dark. No one there to respond, though. Hooksy will take the opportunity to try and push through the flames. Thinks better of it. Probably the correct decision.
Kind of miss the music when it's gone. Again, they get Hooksy established into Dark, but this time the pressure's going to be much more front-loaded. JKS walking on in, looking to demand respect, gets a bullet between the eyes instead, and Major does the same. Hooksy down, Hunter, Nico fighting in, not giving up without a fight. There's still one on the back of the site. It's Calyx. Hiding behind the smoke. Nico coming very loudly through it. And that really gets awkward for Monacy.
Here we go. AWP on AWP action, boys.
1v2 goes 1-on-1. He's playing cruel games, walking on in, and Monacy! He's so set. He just plays this game in a different dimension than everyone else.
And I guess it's not the worst play from Amor. Like, you're trying to present the unexpected, right? You're behind smoke. You don't think you're going to push through the AWP. But, of course, Monacy's just there, ready and waiting. Calyx did well to get a couple of kills here. Took down Nico, jumping up towards the platform as well. But ultimately, there it is. Map point. It's going to take 6 in a row now with the little guns going forward. As, Monacy, another fantastic round.
What's his thinking
frags.
here? When he's fake, is he just thinking about a CT and potential temple push and happen to catch him?
He's thinking it was a pretty obvious call from them, and that the rotation is going to be quick. So doesn't want to lose around in a silly way where a guy sneaks through immediately.
He's sitting there punching in the digits.
And how well Monacy is playing. I like how Nico is just jumping through to give him the info. But I was like, it's a 2v2. Why are you jumping through the smoke and making so much noise? But yeah,
I mean, it
works.
It's one of those things where you can't really critique Monacy too much at the moment. Looking like a superhero in a professional match of Counter-Strike. Oh, aggression rewarded, and just as we talk about his superhero qualities, he looks human. Lets that one go.
It is a huge frag, but Nico pulls one back. It's up to JKS. Almost certainly gets this one. Major oversteps the mark, and Hunter is behind enemy lines here. Xantares is almost certainly dead. There's nothing he can do. He has no idea.
Good game.
No, he's going to get both. Oh, he knows. He wants the double. He wants the double. Hunter! Oh, the rage-inducing double. Back-to-back rounds as well in the previous.
Doesn't feel good.
No, sir. No, sir. And in fact, this hurts as well because xFlower's not going to clear. 16-9, baby. G2. That was Anubis, that was the curveball, that was an attempt to try and take a pop at the champs.
Yeah, and as we said coming into this one, that was a must-win map for Eternal Fire as well. They just didn't turn up after going up 5-0 and winning the second half pistol as well. Just didn't really find any gun rounds, and unfortunately for me, that was underwhelming.
Monesi dismantled them completely in this game. Any plan that they had, I feel like he ruined it, and 30+ kills for him. He's smiling, he's having fun, he's having a great time out.